A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a woman. We're sure you've heard of them. This human female was Sabé, a handmaiden to Queen Padme Amidala of Naboo. It had once been her duty to protect the queen at all costs, so she often impersonated her to make sure no harm came to her. Sabé and Padme looked practically indistinguishable, but they were very, very different people. Where Padme had been a sweet woman willing to put herself in danger, Sabé proved she wasn't above joining criminal syndicates or even the Sith if it meant getting what she wanted. In today's video, we'll look at the most recent Star Wars Darth Vader comics that detail how Sabé went from rebel collaborator to Vader's personal commander in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
At this time of our story, Darth Vader was on a mission for the Emperor to hunt down and dismantle the Crimson Dawn, a criminal syndicate once led by Darth Maul. After his death, the syndicate had spread throughout the galaxy and were now doing their best to destabilize it in their plan to overthrow Emperor Palpatine. But he wasn't the only one on the hunt. At the same time, Sabé was trying her best to track him down. On Polis Massa, the planet Padme had given birth on, then died, she found Z-67, a droid that had been in Vader's service until recently. Sabé wanted to know why Vader was so interested in Padme. It was through Z-67 that she learned that Padme had had a son with Anakin Skywalker, Luke, the rebel who had destroyed the Death Star. Sabé had joined the Crimson Dawn in her efforts to hunt him down because she thought he had killed Padme, but now she wondered if she could use him instead. With the droid's help, she followed Vader and his team of henchfolk to lay core on the Outer Rim, where they were raiding Crimson Dawn's sub-headquarters. While the team was occupied, she had the droid plant a list of fake Crimson Dawn collaborators in the Empire, hoping to turn the Sith on its own people. And it worked. Following the list, Vader and his team executed countless Imperial soldiers, politicians, and nobles. After they looked into the executed soldiers, however, his team realized the list had been a plant. Vader had known all along, yet executed them anyway in his quest for order. He did, however, order them to investigate what linked all the alleged collaborators so they could track down whoever had planted it. It was then that Sabé revealed herself to 2 of these henchmen, Ochi of Bestoon and Sub-Administrator Maul. Both of them were secret Crimson Dawn infiltrators, and she presented herself as their new handler and demanded information on Vader's motivations. With their help, the plan became to use Vader to sow chaos in the Empire's ranks. Meanwhile, the investigation revealed that those falsely accused had all served on the same mission to Naboo, during which they'd massacred a group of rebels called the Amidalans. So when Ochi went to Naboo to meet with Sabé and Vader confronted them both, the Sith knew not only who she was, but also what she was, a Crimson Dawn operative and leader of the Amidalans. Although she had planned to use him, he now decided to use her to take down the Syndicate once and for all. Vader took Sabé and Ochi to where he had once killed the Sando aqua monster on Naboo after she'd summoned it to kill him. He demanded why she followed the Crimson Dawn, but the Handmaiden revealed she didn't. She had only infiltrated them to take down the Empire that sowed chaos where she wanted to impose order. In this, she said, their goals aligned. However, Vader pointed out the flaw in her logic. She had sought order by taking him down, but if she had succeeded, 1,000 monsters would have taken his place. His goal, he explained, was to gather all the different factions and force them to agree. If they couldn't, they could be made to destroy one another. Sabé then led him to a regional Crimson Dawn outpost in the Outer Rim, where Vader bullied the outpost's personnel into teaming up with him. He then manipulated a problematic Imperial Admiral into fighting the Crimson Dawn, effectively having them take each other out. In the aftermath, Vader asked Sabé if she was now scared of him as his team was. She fired back that she had no reason to fear Anakin Skywalker, revealing she had known his secret identity all along. Confronted with his old identity, Vader demanded to know what she wanted with him. In truth, Sabé only wanted one thing: justice. Anakin had once promised to free his mother from slavery on Tatooine, but he never had. Embittered by this, the Amidalans had begun rescuing groups of people off the Dust Bowl and smuggling them to safe havens. Now, however, one such group was in danger. The governor of the colony they had been sent to was employing the Crimson Dawn and abusing her subjects. She even tried to appeal to Vader's humanity by saying that if he helped her save them, he would be stomping out another faction of Crimson Dawn and proving that Padme had been right. There was still good in him. Somehow, that managed to touch his cold heart. Together, the two left for Gabrador III, an Imperial colony world currently governed by Governor Torntaza. Although Sabé wanted to assassinate her, Vader first wanted to visit the colony itself to see if Sabé had been truthful. Among the refugees, however, Vader was surprised to see familiar faces. Kitster Benai and Walt were among their numbers, two of Anakin's friends from when he had been a slave growing up on Tatooine. According to them, the governor had not only failed to deliver most of the critical supplies she'd promised, but had forcibly conscripted 33 colonists who never returned. When they had tried to call for help, they'd discovered their signals were being jammed and they didn't have any hyperspace-capable ships. Even their only terrestrial ship was unusable, they claimed. It was a pod racer Anakin had built on Tatooine that no one could pilot, but they'd kept it for sentimental reasons. While they talked, Vader focused on the forest around them. To him, it felt disturbed. The locals believed it was due to the long drought they'd been experiencing. As they were discussing it, they were suddenly swarmed by monsters. The colonists stayed to fight despite Sabé's orders to flee, and before they got themselves killed, Vader rescued them. The behavior of the monsters was unusual, as they usually stalked animals and not people. That was enough for Vader to decide the governor needed to go. When Sabé demanded to be taken along, however, Vader denied her. She had failed to command the colonists. If she wanted to lead, he told her, she had to first learn obedience. Despite that, he still promoted her to commander. Vader tasked his new commander to lead the attack on the governor. Z-76 found the likely location of the missing colonists, but he also learned the governor was planetside at the old science colony and not on her flagship. That's where he, Sabé, and his stormtroopers attacked her while she was conducting some scientific tests. While waiting for Crimson Dawn to rescue her, the governor sent B-1 battle droids to occupy the Sith, and when the machine she'd been charging was ready, she used it to fire a powerful laser at Vader, stunning him and buying her time to escape. It turns out that the governor had been building a weapon that drew power from living beings. It made Vader think of how he destroyed Alderaan, of the younglings he massacred. All the atrocities he had committed, he'd done so willingly, then did more. The guilt weighed on him alongside memories of Padme, but when Sabé tried to remind him there's still good in him, he rejected her. While Vader pursued the Crimson Dawn, Sabé and the colonists realized the governor's true plan was to use her new weapon to drain the planet's life force. Despite the danger, they tried to stop her, but the storm the weapon was generating knocked both Sabé and Kitster off their speeders. The rest were forced to retreat, leaving them in the storm. When Vader arrived, he took the old pod racer no one else could pilot, and in true Anakin Skywalker fashion, flew to the rescue. Anakin didn't like sand. As he flew through the sandstorm, it brought up memories of his mother. Despite the barrage of memories, he reached Kitster and Sabé, who were trapped under an overturned tank. He rescued them both, but the worst of the storm triggered even more traumatic memories. He ordered his command ship to fire with full power on his position and shielded the three of them from the blast. Once they reached safety, Vader ordered the command ship to also fire on the bunker the governor and the weapon were in, but a shield around it protected it. They reasoned, however, that it wasn't shielded from below, which is where Vader decided to strike. Even as he approached, the weapon drained his life force, weakening him But he had no choice. The weapon was heading for the settlement like a demented Roomba out of hell. Faced with the challenge, Vader sent the settler's astromech in with his saber, with orders to fire it up into the soft underbelly of the mechanical beast. This destroyed the extractor and allowed Vader to board the ship. The governor, however, entered a power suit powered by the experimental, unrefined energy they had been gathering and, with it, tried to kill Vader. And she almost succeeded. The energy blast she fired was enough to paralyze Vader and shut his suit down. He was left dying on the burning ship, unable to save himself, but he wasn't alone for long. Sabé appeared, looming over him. She didn't know if Padme was right, if there was good in him, but whatever she saw on his face, she decided to trust her old friend, and saved Anakin Skywalker. While he recovered in the bacta tank, Vader contemplated Sabé's mercy. When he awoke, he was surprised to find the Handmaiden still awaiting him, a commander ready to serve. She caught him up on developments while he healed. While they were still searching for the governor, it was certain that the Emperor was behind everything that had happened. Her advice was that he do what Anakin did best and confront the problem directly. So he did. With Sabé in tow, Vader traveled to the Emperor's palace on Coruscant, smashing his way through Palpatine's retinue to reach the throne room. The Emperor, however, didn't look surprised to see him. "So, Lord Vader," Palpatine said, "you've been listening to your heart. What does it tell you?" Unexpectedly, Vader force-gripped Sabé and hoisted her into the air while the Emperor cackled. The Emperor mocked the young woman, calling her out for thinking she had been getting through to Anakin. Instead, every time, she had reminded him of his past. She had only been reminding him of his weakness and strengthening his resolve. Instead of letting Vader kill her, Palpatine offered her the chance to earn her life by proving her mettle. Sabé, of course, accepted and dueled the Imperial Guards. Rather than just fighting them head-on, however, she used their environment to her advantage. With the guards tunnel-visioned on her, she positioned herself so that, when she dodged, their fire would strike Palpatine. For their idiocy, the Emperor struck them down and reconsidered. She was so different from Padme, he informed her. Hard, ruthless, with murder in her eyes. First, she had wanted to kill Vader, and now him. The audacity. Where Vader brought order, she brought chaos in the service of order, and that was her strength. Strength that Padme had lacked, and it cost her her life. To Vader, he said that she was no challenge to his power, and that just by being around him, he was molding her into his weapon. So he was to continue training her for the Empire. When Sabé entered those chambers, she had been fully committed to assassinating the Emperor. When she left, she was Vader's willing Imperial subordinate. Because sometimes, people really do be like that. What comes next in the Handmaiden story? Stay tuned and you might just find out. If you have any predictions for what the future will bring for Sabé, feel free to let us know in the comments section below. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.